I'm Joel with Kitsap Junk Removal. Been in business almost 3 years this fall. We started kind of on accident. I happened to be in between work and the pandemic hit. So as many people had happened, it was kind of a crazy situation. Started doing junk removal and next thing I know, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I'm learning everything I can. I'd never owned a small business before. Started doing as much research as I possibly could online. That's where I stumbled on JRA and some other wonderful resources. And I was like, I 100% need to start working with somebody that knows what they're doing. So early in my business, one of the things that happened was I started getting a lot of work, and I didn't yet know how to manage it all. Stumbled on The E-Myth by Michael E. Gerber, a fantastic small business book, and I really learned the importance of having good quality systems, processes, and procedures so the business could run smoothly. One of the things I really needed to get dialed in was my marketing, website, and all those kind of things. Additionally, you don't know what you don't know, and so I knew there was this large area of knowledge that I just didn't have dialed in yet. Junk removal could seem really simple on the surface, but there's all kinds of legal issues, insurance issues, and other things that I wanted to make sure that I had 100% dialed in to protect my family and to protect myself and my business. In order to get some of these systems dialed in, following Michael Gerber's E-Myth system, I realized the importance of partnering with somebody like Junk Removal Authority. I was a little skeptical at first. It seems like every day a company is trying to sell me something, and most of them, they seem like they're just trying to take my money and not provide value in return. As a small business owner, I totally understand the importance of lots and lots of value. And so I kept looking and going, nope, nope, nope. Eventually, I ended up partnering with JRA in the smallest possible way. I did the basic business package with no website, no nothing. It was kind of like, let me get to know JRA a little bit and start to see if I can build a relationship and if this is a company that I'd want to partner with. Flew out to North Carolina, sat down with Lee, Christian, and Sam, and I was blown away. I was expecting a sales process where there was going to be nothing but, hey, buy this, and the prize is always behind one more door if you just go a little bit further. It's completely opposite of that. From the very first day, there was just fantastic communication, fantastic information. They were really genuinely interested in helping my business. And it was at that time that I decided I'm not just going to do the smallest amount with JRA. I'm going to jump in and do quite a bit more. The one-on-one communication that I know that Lee knows about me. He knows about my business. And he cares about my business. I know that Christian knows me. He knows my business and he cares. And Sam knows and cares about me and my business. And I've had great communication and conversation with all those guys. Sometimes even unexpectedly, where Sam has called me and I wasn't even expecting it. And then he spends an hour on the phone with me giving fantastic advice. Business is not something you can do on your own. You have to have other people helping you. And so partnering with JRA really filled in a lot of those E-Myth kind of spaces. So I had someone that all of a sudden was good at managing my ads. I didn't have to worry about that anymore. I could spend my time focused on other important parts of the business. I had someone who was dedicated to updating and building a great website for me. I didn't have to worry about that anymore. I could now focus all of my attention on other forms of advertising, marketing, etc. When I had questions about legal issues or about, budgetary issues, how much should I be spending on this? I could always call and talk to Lee or Sam or Christian and get great advice and information. So I found that Junk Removal Authority is one of those companies that gives a lot more than I feel like they take. So it's a very good relationship I have with them. The thing that I'm probably worst at that JRA knocks it out of the park with is Google Ads management. So initially I did manage my own Google ad, and it was a lot of time, effort, and energy. I watched quite a few YouTube videos. I started spending hours and hours and hours trying to understand all the ups and the downs of Google Ads. And through all that, I realized this is not an interest. It's not a strong point. It's not something I want to learn. And for really a pretty low price, I could have somebody else who's an expert at it manage it for me. There's only so much headspace a business owner has. You only have so much attention in the week. Hand off the things that you don't need to focus on and focus on the things you do. So I'd rather be spending time with my employees. I'd rather be spending my time doing local marketing or at my BNI group, not managing my Google Ads. Google Ads is going to be done better, more efficiently, and with better cost per conversion if you guys do it, and it's going to free me up. And that freedom is perhaps the biggest thing with the e-myth, with the whole systems and processes. You get overwhelmed, and the only way out of that is to systematize and hand off things. So in my business, there's a number of things I've handed off. I've handed off my phones. I've handed off the website. I've handed off my Google Ads. And with my employees that are all fantastic guys, 90% of the junk jobs are handed off, and they take care of those for me. And my job really is to maintain and manage the system that does the work. And JRA is an important part of that system. One of the things I think about is that someday I'd like to hand this business off. Someday I would love to sell Kitsap junk removal. I don't know if that'll happen, but I'm going to try. And one of the cool things is with JRA managing these parts of my business, if I did end up someday handing the business off to somebody else, they don't have to learn marketing. They don't have to change strategies. There's already an effective strategy that they get to take with them with the business. If I'm managing Google Ads all the time, then I'm an integral part of the business that if the business were to be sold, that would fall apart. So it's actually something that I don't know how many people think of that, is you have to be able to hand the business off someday. Either you're keeping it, but you're just stepping back a little bit, or you're going to sell it to somebody else. If you use JRA and the other person decides to continue with that, they already have the website locked in. They already have the ads locked in. It's just less stuff for the next person to have to manage. Yeah, I did go to JunkCon this last year, and it was fantastic. One of the things I heard from other people, they were going, oh man, I was worried this was going to be a sales pitch the whole time. And everyone was quite relieved that, just like my own experience with JRA before, that it's not a sales pitch, it's not sales heavy, it's value heavy. And that is a world of difference. JRA is not out there to nickel and dime and get everything you can. There are services of your guys that I have chosen not to use. Not that they're a bad service or anything, I just don't particularly need them. And never once has JRA tried to twist my arm. Instead, the services that I do use, and I've used for several years now, they consistently provide great quality, great value, and JunkCon was the same way. It was great to meet with other junk haulers. It was great to rub shoulders with people that I had met previously through JRA. And it was a great opportunity just to really spend some time focusing on growing the business and being a wise business person. So I'm a huge believer that you cannot do a business on your own. You have to have business partnerships. We have partnerships with various local real estate organizations, apartment complexes, vendors, and all sorts of other people. For example, there's several scrap yards in town. We only go to one, and we go there because we know them, they know us. We know what they expect, they know what we expect, and we work really well together. And if something goes a little off, maybe I need a little extra help with something, they're always there to dive in because we're always there to support them as well. The nice thing is that when I call them, they know who I am. Like Sam has, he knows my phone number. He knows when I call. Lee, when I was at JunkCon, Lee sat down and had lunch with me, and we actually just talked about life. We didn't even talk about business because there's a real relationship there. And that's one of the benefits of JRA. It's why I'm going to be a long-term JRA client, is because when you can develop a relationship with someone, it's not just nickel and diming you for every little thing. It's where they trust you, you trust them, and together the business is built better. So there's part of me that does not want to do this interview because I don't like being on YouTube, and that's not something I'm super excited about. But what far overrides that is I am so thankful for what JRA has done for me that I wanted to make sure that I gave back and supported them because they've been so greatly supportive of me. My honest opinion is that JRA wouldn't be for everybody. There are some guys that they just want to have one guy in one truck, and it probably wouldn't make a ton of sense. But if you want to grow a business, if you want to have employees and be able to someday maybe sell the business or step out of the field, at least partially, JRA's, it's a no-brainer. The cost isn't how much does JRA cost, it's how much will you lose by not going with JRA. So I guarantee you there's no way my business would be where it is today if I didn't have that partnership. And so yeah, it's a percentage of my revenue that goes out every year, but my revenue is far, far, far bigger because of that partnership. So I don't think the math is there to say that JRA is a bad idea if you want to be more than a single guy in a single truck. If you want to have a team, if you want to grow a real business, and there's nothing wrong with being a single guy in a single truck, But if you want to grow a business that's bigger than that, junk removal authority is a no-brainer. It's far better than the franchise opportunities. The initial costs are way better. You're not locked into agreements. I love that if I wanted to leave, I could. I'm not planning on it. But instead, JRA provides such quality of service, they don't need to lock me in with a contract. It's month to month, but I keep coming back. That's not the same thing with those franchises. You have to sign up, big franchise fee. You have to buy their trucks. You're locked in for a certain number of years. JRA is an obvious choice. There's no way I would ever do a franchise like that.